All right. For 30, we have 6, 4, 2, and 8. Good. So we have x and y, x and y. And there's 1 and there's 2, right? And then we have an equation, right? What's our best equation? What's the goddess equation for linear algebra? Janita. What's the goddess equation? Starts with y. Zayla. Which is? Boom. Y equals mx plus b. So we use this to solve all of our linear equations. Okay. But we need two things. What two things do we need? Anybody, somebody, one buddy. Two things we need. Slope, which is m or b? M. So we need slope. And we need the y-intercept, which is b. All right. We have neither so far, right? So we need to find the slope first. Remember, the slope is rise over run, right? And the rise is the delta in the y, the change in the y over the change in x. Okay? Now, we could write a fancy equation for it. And that fancy equation would be y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, right? Or, I have a way to remember it. And I call it flip it and smack it. Flip it and smack it. Okay? Now, the reason I do flip it and smack it is two reasons. One, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1 sometimes can get confusing to remember, right? Two, when you plug into a formula, I have dyslexia, so I sometimes plug in backwards. Does anyone have that problem where they plug numbers in backwards?
Yes.
Okay? So, flip it and smack it alleviates that problem. Okay? Because what we're going to do is flip these so that the y is on top. Now remember, when we have an equation, when we have the graph, y is always on top, right? So it's one way to remember, oh, y is on top. Okay? And so we're going to have the 4 over the 6. Y over the 6. That's it. Right? And then we're going to have the 8 over the 2. Okay? So we flip them. Now when you smack something, it's kind of negative, right? If I smacked you, it would be negative. I'd be like, what the heck did you do that for? Right? So not a good thing. But sometimes, you know, when you smack something that's negative, you make it positive, right? Like my baby reaching for the outlet. Smack her hand. Hey, don't grab the outlet. Or my kid running out in the street. Smack his butt. Why? Don't run out in the street. You're going to get hit. I'm trying to help you. Right? So we give a negative and a negative to get a what? A positive. Right? So smack up top, smack down below, and you're good. That's flipping and smacking. It keeps it really easy. Okay? Now I just do the math. 4 minus 8. Negative 4. 6 minus 2. 4. 4, negative 4 divided by 4. I heard a 1. Do I hear a negative 1? I Going once. Negative 1. Why?
What?
Why? Because a negative and a positive make a negative 1. So m is equal to negative 1. So I know one of them. We need m and we need b. Okay? We need m and b. Okay? Alright, so I need to find a way to get b. Now remember the last equation we talked about, right? And we said, hey, if I have m and I have a point, I can find b. So which point would you like to use? You can use either one. But you want to circle it. So if you use 6 and 4, circle it so you know that that's the one you're going to plug into this equation, y equals mx plus b. Because now your y is 4, and your m is negative 1, and your x is 6, and your b is b. Then you do the math. Negative 1 times 6, negative 6 plus b equals 4. Then what do I do? No, you got to do the opposite. Add the opposite, right? So it's a negative, so we're going to add a positive. Positive 6 to both sides. That cancels this out. That makes this a 10. Right? Okay. I have a b. I have an m. Can I write the equation y equals mx plus b?
Yes.
How? One. That's it. That's it. And that's one of the hardest things there is in